Alright, so this is neck exercises. I got a pulley system here. So consistent weight with the iron neck. So take these off. It's 2.5 pounds, so it's very light. I'll be upgrading to maybe like 5 pounds next week or a week after that. Um, so it's a 360-degree isometric neck exercise. Um, and then chin tucks. And then reverse. Also, the spins I usually do about I do the same for each about 13. I shortened it for this video. Like that, and I'll do about 13 of those. And then each time I increase it, I'll maybe like next time I'll do 14. Next time I'll do um, 15, etc. These are all isometric, 180-degree isometric. It looks like I'm pulling weight this way, but this rotates easily, so there's almost no friction. So I'm not actually engaging these muscles a lot to rotate my head. It's very easy to rotate my head, but it's isometric exercise, which is good. And then figure eights. And these are easy at 2.5 pounds. And I'll do half of them one way, half the other way, like like figure eight this way, and then figure eight this way. Um, okay. And then I do exercises where I am actually pulling weight. So, head harness. And there might be a better way to do this one. I'm just kind of making this one up. I've never seen anybody do it. Okay. So, attached to this. It's 2.5 pounds. Wait a minute. This? Yeah, I have to go. I think I have to go this way. like that. If I want to go the other way, like this. And there might be a better way to do this, but right now I have to put my hand in front of my eyes because obviously I don't want it to hurt my eyes. Form could have been. You got to go all the way to the right and all the way back and all the way. Yeah. So that's really good for strengthening your C1 area because that's the weakest muscle in my body. Like I can only do about 2.5 pounds on it, and it's difficult. And like my pinky could do more. So like that's how weak my neck is for that exercise. And then the other weak spot I have is when I have the iron neck on and I'm going like this and it's pulling this way and then coming back and then going out like that. That's really weak. Like the anterior longitudinal ligament is getting really stretched, and the uh, a lot of the upper cervical ligaments and tendons are really weak in that area. So that's a very important exercise for me to strengthen my neck. And I don't do it like I'm not like doing it. And people are always saying like you can't do these exercises; they'll hurt you. It's like, well, you could put 1 pound on that thing. I mean, your head weighs 10, so if you can go like this, right, with 10 pounds for your head, you can first do it without weight, and then you can say, all right, let me try with 1 pound, and I'll do 10 reps, and that's it. And then 4 days later, I'll see, can I do 12? Can I do 14? Can I do 16 after, rest in between? And then once you get up to 20 reps, then you could say, all right, I'm going to do 3 sets of 10. And then once you get up to 3 sets of 20 reps on 1 pound, then you say, okay, let me work my way up to 4 sets of 20, 5 sets of 20, and then I'm going to go up to 2.5 pounds. So 5 sets and back down to 10. So 5 sets of 10 at 2.5 pounds, and then 5 sets of 12 at 2.5 pounds, and 5 sets of 14 at 2.5 pounds. So you're very slowly growing the soft tissue over time. And you're not endangering yourself. And then eventually you'll get out up to, and you'll say I'm going to go back to 5 sets of 10 with 3.5 pounds or 5 pounds, 7.5 pounds, 10 pounds, and over months you can build up, and then whereas you could barely do 1 pound or 2.5 pounds, um, then you're like, okay, not barely, but like comfortably, you can only comfortably do it. Um, then now now you're doing 10 pounds. And for you to be able to do 10 pounds, 5 sets of 20, like you will notice, like you have a bunch of tissue that has grown. Like I can't push and touch I used to be able to just touch my vertebrae like it was outside my body. There was no tissue. And now it's like it's really, I used to be able to just push on these sore spots on the transverse process of my C2. It's really hard now because I also do the exercise where I hang off the side of the mattress. Like imagine the mattress is here or here, and I'm laying on my side, and I'm going like this, and I'm holding 5 pounds of weight here, and I'm just going like that, and then I'll do 5 sets of 20, and then 5 sets of 20 hanging off here, so I'm hanging, and then down, and then up, and then some strength. Like side to side, my neck isn't really damaged so much. It's more the forward and back and rotationally. So for me, that's not such an issue. But if it's an issue for you, like everyone's like, oh, you can't exercise, you can't exercise, you can't exercise. But it's like, I've done PICL, I've done posterior PRP, so I've done stem cells, and I've done PRP from the best doctors in the world. And it doesn't grow my tissue as much as exercise. Exercise has grown my tissue tremendously. I mean, bodybuilders don't get big because they do stem cells. That doesn't mean don't do stem cells. Stem cells are great for getting into the ligaments and saying, hey, heal a bunch, so then now I can tolerate exercise more. But exercise is the thing. The exercise is the thing that grows your neck and makes it strong. because that's telling your body this needs to be stronger. It's like growing crops, like planting, whatever you like, cabbage or whatever. Like you're doing a little bit of damage, and then you're resting and letting the tissue grow stronger, and then doing a little bit of damage and resting and let the tissue grow stronger. So you can do it. I mean, I still have a lot of issues even standing upright and sitting upright, and I can do it. And I'm not in pain. Like my neck doesn't hurt now. When I was a little uncomfortable last week when I started on the because I strained my neck stretching too much. Like I was bending down, touching my toes, and stretching my neck. My head was just hanging, and that aggravated my neck. And I still and I started doing 3 sets of 10 at 2.5 pounds with the like in and out thing. Because I just recently got I got rid of the tether because like this thing because it's irregular. Like if you pull it like this, the tension is now a lot more, and if you pull it like this, the tension. And then when I would pull my neck in, there'd be tension. Then when I come out like this, there'd be no tension. So my neck was really weak like this. So if I'm bending forward and my head hanging a little bit, it was really weak. Whereas like now with the cord, this thing, um, there's a consistent whatever weight I put on there. That's the weight. If I Here it's the weight, here it's the weight, here it's the weight. It's always the weight. This is the exact precise weight. Um, so it's a lot better than this, generally speaking. A lot safer. Um, and so yeah. So I'm hoping to like get up to 5 pounds, 7.5, 10 pounds, like leaning forward and doing that so that I can lean forward and make eggs or do chores or whatever, and it's not such an issue. And that should strengthen all those ligaments and tendons in there and muscles. The most frustrating thing about it is like after I exercise, I wait 4 days. So like if I exercise on a Monday, I don't do the exercise again until Friday. I want to do it every other day. I want to get really strong, and I'm tired of being weak. But it's like connective tissue takes longer to grow, and I don't want to get hurt. And I'm 40. If I was 18, I could probably do it every other day, but I'm 40. So, and I also take vitamin C throughout the day, 500 milligrams every 3 hours. And I've noticed I see, and also copper, 1 milligram every day. And because that's really can do. You can get it in like some foods like cocoa powder, but like you need copper for connective tissue, and you need vitamin C for connective tissue growth. So I take that and I rest, and I notice that my connective tissue grows a lot faster. Like I always have, like when I pump the helmet, it's like it hurts when I pump it, and um, like when you squeeze, there's a pump on the iron neck, um, and my fingers always hurt, and I was like, why do my fingers always hurt? I'm just pushing this pump, and they just never healed. And then I started taking because I got sick. I started taking vitamin C every 3 hours, and then I was like, I had no pain in my fingers for the first time in like 6 months. So I was like, oh, and then I started healing a lot more from just my joints when I was taking vitamin C a lot. So that also helps. So you can exercise. Don't believe it when people say you can't exercise. That's just people who feel bad because they don't exercise, and they don't want me to exercise and get better, because that means that they should be and they're not. And it's also people that don't understand exercise. Like I've been an athlete like my whole life and exercising, and that's how you get stronger. It's the best way. That doesn't mean do it like people think when I say exercise. Like people who don't exercise think when you exercise, you have to do it extremely intensely. And that's the only way to get results. They see like movie stars and shit, and they're like, oh, they get strong in like 3 months because they exercise. I'm like, you don't have to. You can take a year or two to get stronger. You don't have to kill yourself. It's just you're just doing a little bit of damage. You just have to do a little more each time. As long as you're doing a little more each time, you're growing tissue. So if you're doing 10 reps one week and 11 reps the next week and 12 the next week, the only way that happens is if you're growing tissue. Period. So you're growing more tissue because it's a matter of physics. Your body can't pull that weight. It's not like the muscle. I think the muscle fibers get a little more efficient, but you have more of them. They become denser. They can definitely become more efficient for like cardiovascular type stuff. Um, but you have to grow the tissue. You have to train your body to get stronger. And if you do it, if you can't do, you just do what you can do. You don't have to kill yourself. Um, I mean, professional athletes. You think like NFL athletes are killing themselves every day? They aren't. Like they take days off, they rest, they don't do anything. Some of the best NFL athletes in the league, they don't exercise a lot. They don't repeat the same exercise every day because they don't want to get injured. So that's just how the body works. Like you do have to exercise, but you can't just be intense all the time or you will get injured. And you have to do just what your body can handle and then slowly increase that over time. I mean, Aaron Rodgers damaged his ACL and he didn't play. He's like, I'm done for the season and I'm going to take a year to slowly recover because he can't be like, oh, all right, I'm just going to run a lot and then just damage it again. Like he did stem cells, and then he's just slowly over time get stronger and stronger. So I mean, that's what the best people in the world do. So, um, and they get severely injured, and there's millions of dollars on the line for them to get better, and that's what they do. And I do it, and I mean, physical therapy exists for a reason. It's not bullshit. But the reason I'm sharing this is because if you go to a physical therapist, they won't have you do any of this. And I don't know why. They're like, oh, your neck's injured? Let's do 0 neck exercises. It's like, and not make the neck stronger at all. They're like, do chin tucks. And it's like, okay, well, what about out here? And what about the reverse when you're pulling away from something? And what about these? And what about these? And unusual movements and like isometrics where you're pushing like this, that's okay, but the iron neck is like 360 isometric, 180 isometric, 180 degrees isometric. So you're hitting all the angles, which is physically impossible to do. If I rotate my head a little bit, it's impossible for me to get all angles. With iron neck, you can get 100% of the angles. So, and I'm not doing it hard. Like that's easy. That's an easy exercise for me. Like I'm not sore. I was slightly sore last week. Maybe with my curls, even the curls I do for my arms, I take it easy. I'm practically never sore, but I'm just like I did 13 reps easy, and then I did 14 reps easy, and then I did 15 reps easy. And next thing you know, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh shit, like I'm growing tissue. Like, and you weigh yourself and you're like, I was 140 pounds, now I'm 160 pounds. And I'm never sore. And I'm never in danger. And you can exercise. And I'm just tired of people saying, like, you can't exercise, you can't exercise, you can't exercise, lay in bed forever, lay in bed forever. And it's like, that's not a solution, And like, I know a lot of people that go to physical therapy and they never get any better. They don't get any better. They go to physical therapy and they never do any neck exercises. They do some basic, you know, isometrics. Um, they do some basic isometrics that way. They do some head movements, and it's just like they never get any better. And my neck just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That doesn't mean, like, I still think I need the PICL because when I'm going like this, I'm clicking and grinding through here. I still have problems with my anterior longitudinal ligament. Like, if I lean forward like this or like this, like, I get heart palpitations from brainstem compression. Obviously, I have damage to my alar still. Obviously, I have damage to my anterior longitudinal ligament, which prevents the C1, both posterior and anterior prevent the uh, C1 from like moving too far forward and squishing on your brainstem. I'm still doing curve correction. Um, so I still really do need stem cells, and they really do help because they get in there and cause the additional healing to difficult to heal spots like ligaments deep in your cervical spine that respond a little bit to physical therapy, but mine are responding, but it's like I don't know. Like I don't think. I mean, there's a reason why again NFL athletes do stem cells because it gets them back to 100%, maybe even better than 100% faster, and they're stronger before, whereas physical therapy alone doesn't. So I will keep trying to get stronger, but I think when I keep getting stronger, and I think the muscles more and the tendons are compensating somewhat for the ligaments not being as strong as they could be. And I think the ligaments are getting stronger, but ligaments just, it's bone to bone. They don't have a lot of blood flow. That's the problem. Otherwise, it would heal quickly, like muscle tissue, but it doesn't. So yeah, that's what I do with the harness, and I also do the head harness where you strap some weights on it, and there's a chain hanging, and then I lean up against the wall, and I'm going like this, I'm going like that, and there's a chain, and I'm up to 7.5 pounds on that, and I'll do like 5 sets of 20, and it's not much at all, but still like my neck, I need to do that, but just doing chores, like doing dishes is still difficult. Sitting upright's difficult. My hips are so tight because I'm laying down and sitting all the time. So my back is in pain a lot because I'm having to pull backwards. Like my hips are being pulled forward, so my lower back has to pull backward all the time just to stand upright. So my lower back hurts all the time. Oh, my back. So I'm doing like basically lunges to free up the hips. But yeah, so I'm just I'm making progress where it's really slow, and I want people to know like you gotta exercise. Now, if you're laying in bed and you're having like severe neurological symptoms, where you're like if I move my head a little bit, I feel like I'm falling for like 2 hours, and I have heart palpitations, and I'm dizzy, and you know, um, from that point, that's the kind of point where you're like, I need regenerative medicine, um, and rest. And um, I think it's very important at any stage to do exercise. But like I remember when I was so damaged, like I couldn't even go like this and like put a little bit of resistance on my head, um, like a year ago because it would just like a tear. It was horrible. But I think like this is important if you have some instability, start exercising because then you'll prevent getting being bedbound and having those neurological issues. If you're getting a little dizzy, if you're like I have friends that get dizzy sometimes. So there is a point at which you're like I need to be fused or I need regenerative medicine like PICL and then wait a couple months and then start physical therapy, um, because like it's so damaged, but like it's I know it's people just say like you can't exercise. Like trust me, I know I was as bad as you can get. Like I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't walk 20 feet. So like but what before I got that bad, I already was having neck problems, and I could have been doing these neck exercises and I would have never got that bad because my neck would have been really strong. So that's another thing. Like, it's important if you've got to do exercise, if at all possible. And you can attempt the exercise like without weight at all. All these exercises you can do without weight. Like, you can push on your head like this, and then, you know, and do that and see, like, can you tolerate that? And again, I'm only doing 2.5 pounds, which feels like almost nothing. You could do 1 pound, or you could do half a pound, which would feel like practically nothing. So you can start off easy, and I think that the pulley is the way to go because it's very precise. Like the tether for someone with CCI is like, you got it's irregular amounts of weight, whereas like the pulley system is like that's a very precise amount of weight. So if you want to do half a pound, if you want to do a pound, if you do 2 pounds, that's 2 pounds every time, every range of motion. If you do 3 sets of 10 at 2 pounds, that's always 3 sets of 10 at 2 pounds. It's never a pulley would or the tether would be like sometimes it's 5 pounds resistance, sometimes it's half a pound. It's all over the place. Um, so if you don't want to get injured, so it's very very important to do exercise. These exercises have helped me a lot. I don't care if like it's not about me. I'm telling people because like no, like it is for real helping me, and I'm in an intensely bad case of CCI. I know there's people worse than me, but it for real helps me, and I'm pretty damn screwed up. So um, I think most people with CCI should be able to do these things to start off easy and work their way up. But it doesn't mean we're just obviously if you have CCI, get a PICL, get posterior injections from Regenix. I wouldn't advise anywhere else. Someone trained by Centennial and Schultz at least, and don't go anywhere else because they just inject all over the place. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I've been to all sorts of places, and unless they use imaging and can tell you like I'm injecting this ligament, I'm injecting this ligament, if they're just like I'm injecting this area, it's like it can be helpful. Like I've had prolotherapy in like a shotgun approach, or they just put prolotherapy all over the goddamn place, and they don't really know what the hell they're injecting. It can help your neck be stronger, but I would never do that again, because it's like why? Like I can exercise. I can put on the head harness and go like this and make my neck way stronger than prolotherapy is going to ever make me. So the only thing is like you're not getting the ligaments to like regenerative medicine helps the soft tissue that blood flow doesn't get to as much. So like if you tear your rotator cuff, stem cells in there is a miracle. If you have damaged ligaments, stem cells is a miracle. So you do that and take you could do these exercises even after you get the stem cells. You don't have to wait forever because these are easy. You just don't do anything intense. So, but yeah, I think I'm tired of people saying like you can't exercise, you can't exercise, you can't exercise, because all the people saying it are people that don't know anything about exercise. They think exercise is all or nothing, super intense or nothing. They don't understand it, or it's doctors that do other therapies. Chiropractor will tell you don't exercise. Regenerative medicine doctor tell you don't exercise. Orthopedic surgeon tell you don't exercise because that's not their solution. Their solution's surgical or regenerative or manipulation of the spine. So they don't want you exercising, and or they don't understand it. But you want to grow tissue. The best way to grow tissue is exercise. Period. Now maybe in the future, 40 years from now, you get little nano machines in your body that will just build the muscle for you. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you want to grow tissue, that's how you do it. That's the best way to do it. And these exercises nobody ever talks about. Nobody, I've never, I like some, I mean, obviously, I looked them up on YouTube, but no one with CCI was like, let me do this, with a pulley at an easy level over time, 4 days in between, slowly increasing. So I'm saying, like, here is the rate at which I'm increasing the sets, here is the weight on which I'm increasing the reps. I am very fragile. It is working for me. Okay, so if you're like telling other people, oh, you can't do this, maybe they can. Some people with CCI will be able to do this. Some people won't. They'll be like bedbound. They'll be like in need of desperate need of surgery, in desperate need of regenerative medicine. Like right now, I know people that were like eating out of tubes, you know. So um, there are points at which you can't do physical therapy. Like for example, if you tear your rotator cuff, it could be like shredded, and you're like, I can't move my arm. I can't. I could do isometrics where I just push up against the wall a little bit. And that's physically all I can do because anything else kills me. And maybe you got to do that for a few months. But you just, if you can do something comfortably, you need to do that. And people are just keep saying like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's like, well, if you, just like if you have CCI and you can go like this with a 2 pound weight and it doesn't bother your neck, well, why aren't you doing that? You should be doing that. 3 sets of 10 every couple of days, whatever's good for you. Give you time to recover. Soft tissue takes more time to recover than muscle, so that's why I wait 4 days. And then, and if you ever want it, if you're like frustrated, and you're like, I want faster progress. Well, still wait the time, write it down, and then if you're like, I don't want to just increase, I feel a lot stronger today, I'm going to increase it instead of 1 rep, 2 reps for each set. Okay, that's fine. But don't just start doing it every day. Don't be impatient and just be like, I'm just going to, just start winging it and just exercise the hell out of my neck and get stronger like that. Then you will get injured. You stick to what you wrote down, you write it down, you keep track, and you do that. And you don't get hurt. If you don't do that, you will get hurt. It doesn't matter if you're healthy, you will get hurt. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete, you will get hurt. So you have to write down what you do and do a little more the next time. So that way you don't injure yourself because it's just a bit more than what you did last time. Your body can handle it. You know it can because it handled it last time. So that's how you don't get hurt. And so you can safely try anything. If you're careful, you can try it. So I'm tired of people saying you can't exercise, you can't exercise, you can't exercise. Because if you don't, you're not going to get better. It's just not about me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, people say, like, this doesn't work. And it's like, look at me. It is literally helping me. I am a person with intensely bad CCI, and it is helping. It is helping in a big way. So you absolutely cannot say, if you want to be correct, you cannot say that this is bad. Um, so you can make an argument on the individual like level where you're like, okay, I have CCI. When I do head rotations, that's where I'm super weak. I can't do any weight yet. I have to, very gently do like this, or maybe I can't do 2.5 pounds. I have to do 1 pound, and I have to do 5 reps at one. That's all I can tolerate. Fine, but you can't say that like exercise is just flat out bad. I'm tired of people spreading that bullshit because it's just bullshit, and it's causing people great harm. I mean, I laid in bed for a year because I didn't exercise. So if you want to tell people to not exercise, I mean, the amount of atrophy I have in my neck because I didn't exercise has caused me a ton of problems. And now, instead of one PI, maybe I need another 2 or 3 to get better. And if I had been doing all these exercises before this, I don't have any problems. I mean, I still I would still get regenerative medicine, but I could have been able to work. I could have been able to do that on my own. So it's like you really do need to exercise and stop saying exercise is dangerous and stop saying exercise is bad because you don't know what you're talking about. All right, thanks.